All right, let's do some Ballzy Core. It does not take much to connect into your center, into your power. So if maybe you're feeling a little bit disembodied and stuck in your head, this is such a good thing to do. Put your ball in, let's get that deep strength going and see what happens in your day. This is the way to flip the switch, light a spark, and kind of bring more energy into everything you're doing. So grab a seat and go ahead and stretch those legs out in front of you. Bring your arms up in the air. Tip your pelvis and roll back. So hug Ballzy up inside of you. Lay down that spine. Take a big breath in. And just for a moment here, let's completely release your pelvic floor. So think about your sits bones as opening up. I want you to inhale. In fact, let's pull your sits bones apart for a second. And you can bend your knees. Let's go feet flat, knees bent. And inhale, send the air all the way down into your pelvis and just feel your pelvic floor expand. Just feel it open up. Don't push, but notice that. Sometimes it's easier for us to open up the front of the pelvic floor, sometimes the back. So open your sits bones and just see if you can feel all those deep muscles let go. When you do that, you're gonna get a much better contraction. You don't wanna live in a state of tightness. So one more inhale, and then exhale, straighten those legs out. Let everything go for another moment. Take your arms up in the air. And then on the next exhale, let's roll yourself up. Let's do 5 of these. So there's one, curl your tailbone, try not to drag your feet with you. And just really tune in to how it's feeling around that ball. Kind of hug that ball. Notice if you can hug it from the front, the middle, and the back of your pelvic floor. You're not fighting gravity now, so you're just using that ball as an anchor point to make sure you're connecting up and in. The exhale is on the movement. Inhale at the top, exhale. Again, notice you're not crunching at the sternum. We don't want to push down and push out those abs. You're rolling pin that spine all the way through the top of your head. Let's do one more. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor first and come up and over. All right, now roll back onto the forearms and then press your forearms forward to curl your pelvis. We're just kind of warming up here. Lift your left leg up without moving your pelvis. Lift your right leg up. And we're gonna do 5 of these. Let them lower down and lift. And as you lower, I want you to keep your pelvis exactly the same. Don't let it tip forward. Keep pressing those arms forward to traction your spine. Breathe. Lower those legs down. You should feel this in your core, not your back. Take your right arm up, take your left arm up without any movement. Let it burn, breathe. And then bring your forearms back. This time, notice your pelvis, stabilize, lift your right leg up first, and then your left. And then keep your pelvis very still. So basically the distance from your hip bone to your ribs doesn't change. You're not tipping your pelvis forward. 5 more. Breathe. Open your collarbones. Hug that ball up into the back of your pelvis if you can. These can be little movements because I don't want you to feel this in your back muscles. And then lower those legs down. Keep your pelvis square. See if you can lift your left arm up without shifting. And your right arm. And then roll yourself down. Inhale. Now exhale, bring your hands behind your head. Exhale, come up to the shoulder blades and down. So I want you to think about pressing your head back into your hands. We're gonna go through sequence of 10 reps on each of these moves and then we'll repeat. So here we go. Exhale as you roll up, keep your head pressing back into your hands. There's no rush to this. Let's do 5 more. Inhale as you go back. Exhale, follow that breath all the way down to your pelvic floor and hug up inside of you. As you go back, you're gonna release the muscles around Ballzy just a little bit. Exhale, re-engage those muscles. Inhale, let's go a little. When you get to 10, you're gonna stay up into that little roll up. You're just past the bottom of the shoulder blades, just right at the tip maybe. Bring your left knee up, bring your right knee up, and we're gonna do 10 hip tucks. So curl the pelvis up and down. You're not gonna come all the way down. And what I really want you to focus on is that top of that lift, getting a little bit more out of it. This is not about speed. This is about how deep can you go. You can keep your own count. Got 4 more. Lift, 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 lift. See if you can exhale to a count of 5 or 6. Think about your femur bones lifting out of your pelvis. Your head is pressing back into your hands. As soon as you get 10, you're gonna curl that pelvis up and hold. Now from here, we're gonna do a little counter rotation. So bring your knees to the left, rotate your torso to the right. Switch. Check in with your breath. Think about hugging Ballzy inside of you and almost like hugging it and spinning the ball to the right and then hugging it and spinning the ball to the left. That should bring you lower in your pelvis instead of just using your ribs for this. Like get up and inside of you, lift your knees up a little bit higher. 1 more to the right, 1 more to the left. Come back to center. Now, we're gonna bring your knees to tabletop. This is a short core sequence. So we're gonna keep going. You're gonna rotate into these slow motion bicycles. Keep your head pressing into your hands. There's 20 total. So if you're counting your own, we're going to 20, nice and slow. You're bringing your body up towards your knee as opposed to your knee to your elbow. And focus on that same sensation of Ballzy hugging and rolling inside your lower halves over to each side. Now, when you've got 20, I want you to rotate to the left and hold this position. That right leg goes out and long. Take your right arm to the outside of that left leg and press. Breathe. Switch. Over to the other side, left arm to the outside of the right leg. Take the left leg long. Breathe, press your head back. Now find your breath and hug Ballzy to bring your torso up higher. 3, 2, 1. Come back to tabletop. Roll your head and shoulders down. And then take your arms up above you. We're gonna do 10 V-sits. So you should be burning right now. Here's 1. See how low you can go. 2. Now when you come up, hug Ballzy up and see if you can pull in as opposed to crunching out your back. Pull those knees into your chest. You've got 10 total. I'm gonna do 5 more. Lift your arms up a little bit. Make sure you're not popping that upper back behind you too much. The curl comes from your pelvis. Notice if you feel anything with Ballzy. Exhale as you come up. You shouldn't feel it pushing out. I'm gonna do 1 more. Hold here, lift your arms up. We're gonna go slow motion. So roll down your low back, take your legs out long, steer your pelvis to the left, steer your pelvis to the right. Bring your hands behind your head. 4, curl your pelvis. 5, you don't have to go so low with your legs. You should not feel this in your back. You're just rolling Ballzy side to side in your pelvis. Once you get 10 total, hug your knees into your chest, take your legs out long, inhale, exhale, roll yourself up. Notice with Ballzy, when you roll up, if you get stuck at that spot and you feel Ballzy pushing out, that's a good chance to realize you need to practice hugging it up. You're hugging it up so you can come up and over. Let's do 1 more. Roll yourself back, inhale. Here we go, exhale, hug Ballzy gently. You shouldn't be squeezing your hips or your butt. And then roll yourself up and over. All right, come onto your hands and your knees. We're just gonna stretch it out and you guys are done. So shift your hips forward, come all the way to the floor. Inhale. You should feel your abs burning here. A little bit tight, hopefully a little sore, side to side. Breathe in, inhale, feel the chest stretch open, and then push back into child's pose. All right, so notice all things. I want you to move forward into your day, feeling how you ran that breath deeply into your center. It's grounding, it's empowering, and use these muscles in the rest of your day. And if you're at the end of your day, relax them all and see if you just can go to bed feeling empowered and grounded. Thanks for joining.